And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Wednesday, February 23rd. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. A little mist falling out there this morning, but it's not too cold, and it's a March 23rd, I think it is. Anyway, good morning, and welcome to our program. And we, of course, are on the air each Wednesday at this time for Cedar Stone Bank of Lebanon, Mount Juliet Donaldson, Simple Banking, Simply Better. Bob McDonald's with us today. He's president and CEO, and he's speaking by telephone. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
It is good
to be with you.
Good to hear your voice, and we're always glad to have you on a Wednesday to talk about whatever we're going to talk about, which we don't usually know much about in advance.
Well, I tell you, I hate that my attendance in person has become a topic of debate there in Studio B, and that you and your upcoming guest, Uncle Pete, had a bet, and Uncle Pete won, I understand.
Yeah, well, that's his story. He did say I bet he'll call in. Well, why would you not? I mean, it's damp and not the best kind of morning, and you can sit behind the desk there, and we can do the commercial, and everything's going to be hunky dory.
I know. I told you some time ago when I had to start doing this. There's some Wednesday mornings I've got a meeting that starts early, and I can't get back in time for it. So today's one of those days. So thank you for letting me jump in here with you.
And I'll bet you've already worked out this morning.
Well, we have, yes. Susan and I got up early as we normally do, 3:30, and did that. We've been doing that for a bunch of years.
Yeah, well, you're better at that than I am.
He gets up at 3:30. If you get up at 3:30, you deserve a break. You get you got a free pass from now on.
Well, I appreciate that, Uncle Pete. I'm up at 3:30, but I'm in bed real early. So if y'all need me after 8 o'clock at night, if you can, wait till in the morning till 3:30.
We got it. I wouldn't dare. It'd have to be a dire emergency. Well, what is going on in the banking world right now, and with the world situation? There's been some intrusion by Russia into Ukraine, I understand, and I wonder, bankers have got to pay some attention to what's happening in the world and world news and this sort of thing.
Well, we do, and a couple things on that, Coleman. We saw the impact it's been having on the market. The market had another big drop yesterday, but we also have to remember that it will bounce back once all that gets stabilized, because the underlining elements of the economy remain strong, at least here in the U.S., with good employment numbers and good consumer spending. Now, inflation, of course, is high, but I'm sure the Fed will address that in its meeting. It has meetings next month. I think it's the 15th and 16th of March. So there's an expectation that interest rates will go up probably at least a half of a point. So that ought to help with inflation. Now, it'll take a while for that to work its way into the economy and have an impact on inflation, but at least psychologically, it'll have an impact immediately. Now, we do have customers who are interested. I've had some customers call me in the last few days asking about the impact of what's going on in Russia and the Ukraine and how that might impact banking here. And I'm sure it'll have some impact on some of the larger banks in some of the larger cities like New York and Boston, but we shouldn't have any impact here locally. It should not have any impact on how banks do their business and make their decisions. So I don't think we should be expecting that to take place here. It is interesting, Coleman, that when President Biden announced his reactions yesterday, one of the three responses included banking. You probably saw that, and so the U.S. is restricting or cutting off some of the international banking with Russia, either the government or what they call their elite citizens. So they will feel that when their money is not able to move around like it normally does.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, in the meantime, we would be doing our job. We didn't talk about the free checking account at Cedarstone Bank, your signature product, really.
Yeah, we can talk about that. Let me just say real quick that, here we are getting on the final days of February and moving into the final third of the first quarter, and things are, as I was talking a little bit about just a moment ago, we're having a good kickoff to the new year, and our customers are confident, and they're borrowing money, and they're still home buying is still very strong, and home refinancing is strong. Even though rates are going up, Coleman, they're still very low. And we encourage folks not to get uptight when they see that rates are increasing, because they're still at historically low levels. And so people are buying vehicles, and so it's a good economy, not just nationally, but certainly here in our community. And on the free checking, we're opening those up every day. Coleman, we've had a good kickoff to the year with that. It's a great account, as you know. We offer free checks and free online banking, which includes bill pay and remote deposit. So it's a great account, and if you use your ATM, it's free anywhere in the world. We've had a customer who's been traveling recently into different states, and so they let us know where all they were going, just so we could make that notation on their account. And they were in various states using their Cedarstone debit card, and it worked great. And and we reimbursed any fees. So we remind folks who do that, if they're ever out of state, just to let us know so we can put that notice on their account.
Yeah. All right. Good idea. Well, thanks as always, and we'll look forward to your visit next week. In the meantime, stay dry, stay warm, and we'll see you next week.
Okay. Thanks, Coleman.
All right.
See you, Pete.
See you.
All right. Bob McDonald, he is President CEO, Cedarstone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson. Simple banking, simply better. All right. He's already been introduced, but I got to introduce him again, because this morning my guest is the one and only Uncle Pete.
Good morning, Wilson County and the surrounding areas. This portion of your program today is brought to you by the Fighting Veterans of Wilson County. This month is Women's Veterans Month.
All right. We can talk about that.
Yes.
Veteran Women's Month.
Yes, sir.
All right. I think that's
a third of the veterans in Wilson County are women.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
All I need to do is get more of them to join the American Legion of VFW. We need y'all's smiling faces.
Oh, you don't have a third of your members are women, do you?
No, we don't. We've got some that are members. We need more. We'd love to have them.
Well, let me get your take on what has happened in the Ukraine. For months, Russia has massed troops and tanks and other military equipment along the border between Russia and Ukraine, and we've been hearing about an invasion, and all this has been in the news. And then they did go into two different territories of Ukraine, as I understand it. Saw it on the map there. They're adjacent to Russia, but they've gone in a few miles there and taken over, I guess, a couple of states or something.
Yes.
What's behind all that?
Well, you remember the little guy with the mustache that they used to Heil Hitler to?
Yeah, I remember.
I think this idiot is trying to be like him. He's emulating what World War II got started on.
Mm-hmm.
And, give me a little bit. Oh, well, give me a little bit more. Oh, I need a little bit more. He's trying to put...
When he got through, he had almost all of Europe.
Yes. The only thing that stopped him was the Soviet mud and the military might of the United States, Britain, and Russia.
Yeah.
And but this guy is, first of all, he would not have been a good candidate for president because he came from the gulags. He came from the undercover secret police that did what they wanted to. So he has this mindset that anything he does for the motherland, it's okay. Kill 100 or so, it's all right. Put them in prison, it's okay. He's even opened up some of the prisons up north in the frozen tundra. So he's not a good guy. And we can't back down from him. He's one of those, he knows one thing, power.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
Power.
Yeah. I don't think you can trust him at all.
Oh,
you could not trust him.
I mean, he is telling them one thing, and the troops are doing the opposite at the same time he's telling them. He's lying out of one side of his mouth, and
Well, what can we do about it?
Like somebody said the other day at the table, you know how Putin's lying, mouth's moving.
Oh, you realize we're almost already at a time for a break here.
Let's give her a break.
All right, a break and more with Uncle Pete this morning on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by Bates Ford Lifetime Brake Pad Guarantee. With the purchase of a brake service, replacement brake pads will be provided at no cost for as long as the customer owns a vehicle. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. We've seen some pretty good flooding out here in certain parts of Wilson County. It all started yesterday afternoon with all that heavy rain. Just give yourself extra time out here this morning. It's been crazy trying to clear up that wreck on 40 westbound near Fessler's. We're still looking at this crash in its clearing stages over here on 24 eastbound at Briley Parkway, like you're headed out towards Murfreesboro, and 40 starting to build through Kingston Springs. Warmer weather is waiting for you right now at Pensacola Beach. Book your next getaway. PensacolaBeach.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
The Pavilion Senior Living residents are inviting you to become their new neighbor. If you're looking for a sign to move, call us at 444-5556 to learn more about the details. Or go to thepavilionseniorliving.com for more information. Or better yet, just drop by 1408 Medical Center Drive, right behind Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, and see for yourself. You should move here.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
What is your passion? How can you use that passion to enrich your community? Hi, this is Melanie Minter, President and CEO of the Lebanon-Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Your chamber is the resource for making connections to fulfill your passion. Whether education, nonprofit, agriculture, entertainment, or government relations, Wilson County offers a place for you to be involved. Your chamber connects businesses, individuals, and your passion to the community. We have an enthusiasm for excellence. Join us and catch the spirit. Call or visit our office at 149 Public Square in Lebanon.
Coleman and Company here on a Wednesday morning. I called him Uncle Pete. He is known as that, but his official name is Haywood P. Norman IV.
Absolutely.
But you'll answer to either one.
I will.
Especially when they're calling you to dinner.
Absolutely. I was eating lunch with my dad yesterday down in Donaldson, and I'm going to take him this coming week to get his hearing aids. I took him to the VA evaluation for hearing, and I did not prompt him. I did not tell him what to say. The lady said, well, how's your hearing? He said, what'd you say?
Okay. Enough said.
Enough said.
Well, I'll tell you, you get to that point, and I did about a year and a half ago, I guess it was.
Yeah.
And
I have hearing aids too.
But they do come in handy.
Boy, they do. Mine are those Bluetooth, so mine work with the TV, so I can sit there at almost no volume and listen to the TV in stereo.
Well, I got one of those gadgets. It came in the package, but I never have implemented it.
It's real easy.
Well, I know, but I haven't really seen a reason to. You
use them one time and you'll see the reason.
Well, all right. What else is going on? I mean, you hear everything, just about everything at the truck stop. Now you say that you're just out there, but you're more than just out there, and I know that.
Well,
but
I'm retired from a lot of the things that I do.
Yeah.
I like to go to the truck stop, and especially on busy days, Saturdays and Sundays when it's really busy, I'll wander around and tell jokes and talk to people and listen to people. Let's see, last week I had a guy come in, been driving for 40 years, been eating breakfast with us for 33 years.
Really?
5 days a week.
Huh.
He picks up a load on the other side of Nashville, eats breakfast with us, goes to the other side of Knoxville, drops that trailer, picks up another trailer, comes back and eats a light snack with us because he said, my wife will shoot me if I don't eat dinner, and then goes on the other side of Nashville.
Huh.
And he's retired. And he said, well, I'll get to bring my wife and grandkids more often. And he brought one of his grandkids in last year sometime, and they introduced me, and the little girl kept saying, well, now, whose uncle is he? How is he kin to us? I thought that was pretty
Well, there's
neat.
an easy answer. He's everybody's uncle.
I am.
Everybody's Uncle Pete.
We had a really good pancake breakfast. The Vietnam Veterans of America had a free pancake breakfast for any veteran last week out at the Armory. And, of course, fed the veterans out there, too, and then had a lot of just non-veterans. And, of course, not a single politician missed it.
Yeah.
They were pressing the flesh. But that's okay, too.
Well, they got to go where the action is.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. But we're having some really good meetings and things. But like every older organization, we're losing members.
Yeah.
And we're trying diligently to get the younger guys from Desert Storm, Desert Shield, Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, all of those different conflicts to come to our meetings. Of course, the VVA is not one that most of them can join, or any of them can join, but the American Legion meets the second Monday at the Veterans Building here on the fairgrounds, and the VFW meets the third Thursday at the fairgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
They have a meal at 5, meetings at 6, and we would love to have these young people come. We need somebody to pass the torch to.
Yeah, some people, and I have an idea. Some younger people shy away from meetings, and especially if you have a pretty structured meeting and all of this, and you mostly sit and listen. What are your meetings like?
Ours are not sit and listen. They are participatory.
All right.
We, especially mine, and when I was the commander of the VFW, we get everybody involved. We don't stand behind a podium and just lecture people and tell them our opinions. That's not what I want. I want their opinions. I want them to participate in it. I want the Field of Flags that's coming up this year. We're going to have members from the VVA, from the AVVA, from the American Legion, and the VFW that will put that on. And if you like good barbecue, this year we're going to sell barbecue again. We did it a few years ago, and then COVID sort of stopped us. Mm-hmm. But we're going to be cooking that pig again, and we'll be selling it in 1 pound and 2 pound and 5 pound packages. We'll have a phone number next month that you can actually call and put on reserve some barbecue. The Field of Flags is going to be up and running. We're going to start selling those again. So if you've got somebody that's passed away that you'd like to dedicate a flag to be flown every 4th of July and at different occasions, get a hold of me. You can get me at the truck stop.
Where's your Field of Flags?
When you first come in the fairgrounds,
it's always the same place.
Always the same place.
I know. Go ahead.
We're going to do something a little bit different this year. We're going to try to have every single flag that has ever flown over the U.S. Capitol on display right down the center of the medium as you come into the fairgrounds.
How in the world are you going to do that?
We're going to buy a copy of each one of them, and we're going to mount them on our poles.
Okay.
And we're going to try to put a little placard. I ain't going to tell you where I'm going to get them, but it's where a lot of our veterans go for their final rest. Those little placards that they put on the foot that says this person is here, and we're going to put a headstone up. We're going to get some of those, put an insert in that tells about that flag.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to make those available to the different schools, elementary schools and stuff, where we could put them out right in front of the school, and the kids can see them every morning for a couple of weeks or so. There's those flags.
All right. I guess you're talking about the first flag, maybe.
Betsy Ross.
All right. And maybe with 13 stars or whatever.
Yes, sir.
So every time we've added some states and another flag has been made.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's what you're talking
Yes, sir.
about here. You know how many they are altogether?
I have no idea myself. The number 12 rings a bell, but I'm not sure. We've had a couple of times where we added multiple stars.
Yeah.
The last one, I think they added Alaska and Hawaii. That was the last add-on.
Well, that in itself would be interesting.
Yes.
A replica of every flag.
Every flag.
It's really every official flag of this country.
Yes, sir.
Stars and stripes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's things for children and kids, but the honor of the other flag that you buy, if you can take it home with you if you want to and fly it at your house, that's fine too. Or if you leave it with us, it will be flown every single year. And you can come up there and give them a name, they put it in the computer, it'll tell you what row, what number your flag's at.
Mm-hmm.
And there'll be a sticker on the pole, and then there'll also be a tag on a yellow ribbon on the flag. So you'll be able to go find your flag and show your kids. And it's a wonderful place to get your pictures made.
Yeah.
We've actually had foreign students, and how they found out about us, we still don't know, but 2 bus loads of kids on the way to Knoxville from somewhere in Europe stopped, and they spent about 45 minutes going through and taking pictures inside the field of flags and around the field of flags. And we got, they mailed us back a picture of all of the kids standing by the field of flags. So there's a lot that happens. A lot is for the veterans. All the money that comes out of anything we do, we divide it among the 3 groups.
You just need more people to help you.
Yeah.
To be a part of it.
To be a part of it. We need diligently to pass the torch.
Mm-hmm.
I joined about 14 years after I got out of the military. I didn't think I needed it.
Yeah.
I didn't. A lot of the guys who have joined this, and my dad, who's 95, just joined 8 years ago.
Mm.
And I asked him one day, and he said, "You know what? Nobody ever asked me. I'm asking you. I'm asking you. Come and join us. Come try us out. We've got a lot of projects and things that we do for veterans, and we need more hands. We need more steady hands."
All right, what's the easiest way to do this?
Call me, 615-804-4404, or stop by the truck stop and ask for me. I keep applications for all 3 groups there at the truck stop just as you come in the restaurant.
Well, you said you've been a member of all of them, I think.
I'm a member of 7 different organizations.
Well, but most people just join up for one.
Most join for one, and you can join for one or you can join for a bunch. And they've got lifetime memberships now that have been staggered by how old you are. So, what used to scare a lot of them off, the lifetime membership was $495. It's not that anymore.
Yeah.
That's if you're 19 years old and just got out of the military.
Got 1 minute left here. Other ways people can help. I know you've had people to make monetary donations from time to time for what you're doing. Anything in particular you're needing some money for right this minute?
Yes, sir. We're trying to put together a fund to build a veterans house, a community center where we can have our meetings, and it's our house. We can decorate the inside of it. We can do our meetings, our dinners, social events, and all that. So
it's just yours.
That's just the veterans of Wilson County.
Yeah, right.
And we've got a wonderful place where we're at, but it technically belongs to the Wilson County Promotions, and there's some times that we can't use it because they've got something else.
Yeah.
So we'd like to build us one. We've got a spot in mind, and we're going to try to do a little horse trading and see if we can get in there.
All right. Well, save the rest till next time. We'll try to see you next month. Good to have you today.
Well, thank you for inviting me, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for letting me talk.
All right. Pete Norman, and that is part one of Coleman and Company. Keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Absolute Kubota Red Max. Complete inventory of weed eaters, blowers, hedge trimmers for the commercial user and homeowner with up to a 4-year warranty. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. They've moved this right to the side, but it's still crazy slow here on 24 westbound at Harding Place. You got all this traffic coming in from Rutherford County trying to get in up through here on 24 westbound. Again, at Harding Place, heavy coming through Mount Juliet in the normal spot. 65 is also slow, sometimes coming through passing Briley and Madison. Warmer weather is waiting at Pensacola Beach. Book your next getaway, PensacolaBeach.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
This is Bob McDonald with Cedar Stone Bank. For 17 years now, we've been serving our communities in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Donaldson. We can serve you in the way that best fits your needs. We have all the banking technology, we have beautiful buildings, but more importantly, we have great people. On behalf of our board of directors, I thank you for banking with us. If you don't currently bank with us, please come by and visit us in any of our locations. It would be our pleasure to talk with you about how simple banking is simply better.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
A.G. & Johnson is your experienced real estate and auction company, specializing in residential, commercial, and personal property auctions. Did you know that auctions are a fast and efficient way to sell your property? Auctions reduce time on the market and have an exact selling date. Call us for an in-home consultation today at 615-444-0909. A.G. & Johnson Realty and Auction, 728 West Main Street in Lebanon, or find us online at agandjohnson.com. Voted best auction company in Wilson County.
We do look to dry out today with cooler temperatures as well. Highs will top out in the mid-50s. On Thursday, rain showers pick back up again with temperatures reaching the upper 50s. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. Now let's look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist T.J. Scott.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. It is a Wednesday morning. Wednesdays at this time, we talk about Absolute Rental and Supply. Philip Adley is here, as always, and a good morning to you.
Morning, Coleman.
Good to see you. Not so good to see all the rain, but there's going to be some rainy days.
There, exactly. We're going to have the opportunity to do a lot of cleaning and a lot of maintenance on equipment right now.
Well, let me tell everybody that Absolute Rental and Supply is located at 1325 West Main in Lebanon. Philip's been there for 20 and a half years, 21 years this coming June.
That's correct.
And he's got the website, absoluterental.com, where you can go and see, I guess, just about everything you've got that's available to be rented out. And the price is there, and then you call 615-443-RENT and make your reservation. It's that simple.
It really is that simple. And like I said, it's important to go ahead and call. We love the fact you can go get all the prices and the times that you can rent equipment, but you do need to call in. We're going to ask you some questions to make sure it's the right equipment for the right job, and so just to make sure everything's good. And we appreciate it. And we do make reservations, and that's huge.
Right. We had quite a bit of rain yesterday, and it was drizzling when I came in this morning. They're talking about more rain tomorrow. What do you do when you've got pretty heavy rain on 2 out of 3 days?
Well, like I say, as far as us there at the store, we'll just do maintenance type stuff, and there's things still going out. There's a lot of people who rent pumps. All of a sudden their basement may get flooded or an area may get flooded.
Well, that's a good idea to call attention to that. You've got them.
Exactly. We've got the pumps to rent, and then there's people that also have some damage done. There's areas that get flooded, and after they get the water out, then they're going to have to get the dehumidifiers and the carpet fans and that type of equipment. We have that as well. So, matter of fact, yesterday there was a couple of dehumidifiers went out because people had some damage, water damage. So, we'll stay busy on that. But we'll try to take advantage of like I say, the slow times to get things maintenance and serviced and make sure it's ready to go out to rent when the sun does come out. This past weekend, we were out of a lot of earth moving equipment. Because it was warm, it was somewhat dry, and so it always hurts me to tell someone no, we're out of something. But it's kind of what we talk about, that seasonal deal. As soon as if everything's been held up due to the weather, as soon as that first weekend or that first week of good weather, we have a barrage of people trying to come in and get that equipment. So that's where it's so important to call and make that reservation.
Well, I guess this would be a good place to mention, too, of course, your delivery service, which works well for contractors, but it works well for people who aren't able to transport the equipment themselves.
It really is. That's been a huge asset in Absolute Rental in the fact that, like I say, a lot of people don't have the proper size of equipment or trucks, vehicles to be able to tow it. So we can deliver it to them. And it's extremely simple. You just call and say when you want it. We'll call you before we leave. We'll get there, sign the paperwork, and as soon as you get done, just give us a call. We'll call it off rent, and then we'll come by and get it picked up a little later.
Well, I have an idea that after we get this next rain system through here, that's going to be dry for a while, and you're going to be a happy camper, happier camper.
Exactly. That's what we're looking for. We love the consistent weather is what we like. Is when it gets dry, it stays dry and so forth. But we're looking forward to spring. There's no doubt about it.
Might mention one other thing here. We got a little time here this morning, and you've talked about the pre-emergent and what you need to do to get your lawn ready, and between your place and the
Absolute Kubota.
Kubota, you've got a good thing going.
Yeah, right now is the time to get down your pre-emergence. That takes care of a lot of your crabgrass. And if you don't put your pre-emergent down, what happens is that crabgrass goes ahead and germinates, and then it starts to seed. So if you can get a good pre-emergent down, you'll take care of about 80% of all your crabgrass problems. And that crabgrass is difficult to get rid of. But if you can keep it from germinating, that's the key. And right now is the time of year to do that.
All right. So what's involved in this? Tell us quickly. You get it from you, and what do you do?
It's simply just spread it out on your lawn. And what it does is it spreads out on the lawn, and when that weed seed or crabgrass seed starts to germinate, that pre-emergent keeps it from germinating.
Okay, well, I'm guessing that you wouldn't want to do it right before rain's going to come.
No, after the rain will be fine. It depends on if it was a soaker like we've had a couple of rainstorms in the last couple of days, then you have possibility of that washing off a little bit. But most of the time, it doesn't hurt it at all if it rains on it. Kind of almost puts it in the dirt a little bit better. But
the thing about it is you've got all that information available, and you're glad to share it with people so that you help them do a better job.
Exactly. We've got a whole lawn, or like a fescue lawn sheet and a Bermuda lawn sheet that It tells you what time of year, what application, what type of fertilizer, what type of pre-emergent you need to put on, and then what time of year to do that. So
but you do this before the grass starts turning green and showing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, the one phase of it, and right now, is the pre-emergent phase, and that keeps those weed seeds and particularly crabgrass from germinating.
All right.
And so it's really critical.
Well, you can get a lot more information at Absolute Kubota and Absolute Rental.
Yep.
And, of course, you're here for Absolute Rental, which is at 1325 West Main.
Yep.
And again, the number 615-443-RENT. See you next Wednesday.
All right, thank you.
Okay. We are 21 before the hour. Gail Hibbert joins us this morning, my guest for part 2. She is the director of the marketing, and that's good enough. Gail, good morning.
Good morning.
It is good to see you. The Farm Bureau Expo building.
That is correct.
And you take care of the marketing and events
That's correct.
are there.
Yeah.
Which is what I was trying to say. Well, it's good to see you this morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. We are busy.
Well, I don't know exactly what all we need to talk about. You brought your notes here this morning, and you're in charge. But how long you been doing this? It's been a year or two?
Almost 2 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in May, it'll be 2 years. Seems like yesterday, but I think COVID probably played a part in that, just because there were gaps. But honestly, the Expo has done really, really great. We had our downtime like many people did, but our downtime was a little shorter than some, certainly shorter than a lot of Nashville venues. And we have ramped up, and our calendar is filling fast, and inquiries come in every day. And much like you guys just talked about, I hate having to tell people that I don't have space. Mm-hmm. And they almost are shocked, or maybe almost in disbelief, that, what do you mean you don't have that space for the next 5 years? You know, I mean, they don't understand that. And sometimes I don't understand that. But the reality is that we have a solid base. And I think a lot of that is due to how we handled going through the COVID situation, and the downtime and the restrictions that we had at one point in time. We handled it by rolling events instead of penalizing people. And a lot of venues across the country just shut down and said, sorry, and walked away from them. So that seems to have gone a very long way in building and fostering and strengthening relationships.
Well, do you have people, once they try it, they like it, and become repeat? I mean, a lot of annual events is what I'm thinking about.
That is correct. We do have a lot of those. Dance teams love us. Dance teams, cheerleading, wrestling. For the first, January through May, through 2025, the main exhibit hall specifically, usually the whole building, but specifically the main exhibit hall is not available on the weekends, January through May through 25.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, you get people on the phone. They're like, "Well, that can't possibly be the case." I'm like, "But it is." Yeah.
What do you attribute? There's probably a lot of things, but is there one or two or three things that really stand out in your mind as to why people like this and want to come back, or why you're booked up for that long?
There are, and thank you for asking that, because first and foremost, I would say the staff. We do a really good job, in my opinion, but based on the feedback that we get from our customers, we do a really good job in meeting their needs, trying to anticipate their needs, trying to make sure that their events are successful. The feedback that we get after events is, the staff is amazing. Thank you so much. We appreciated all the support. And that's music to my ears, because that means that they're going to be happy and they're going to come back. And they do. They do come back. But the other thing is value.
Yeah.
We have a great value for what we bring to the table for event planners.
Well, you're in Nashville, mainly your competition.
Nashville, Murfreesboro.
Oh.
Yeah, they are. And they've got other venues that, I don't compete with. I am not a Music City Center. and I don't claim to be. But what I bring to the table is really unique in the fact that I have pretty much a blank canvas. Whatever you need to do for your event, we can pretty much accommodate. I mean, we've got space allocation and for, depending on the setup, but I mean, 6,000, 6,500 people in the main exhibit hall. So, you want to do a concert, we can accommodate that. But we don't claim to be the major convention centers because we're not. But that also gives us the opportunity to offer the value that we do.
Well, one of the things, at least we've always talked about with the Wilson County Fair, has been there's no parking charge, except if I know they have the VIP parking now. But for the most part, you go to the Ward Ag Center, there's no charge to park. Is that the way it always is, or?
Yes. The Ag Center, that's everything behind the building, and they don't have any charge for parking either. We don't. That is certainly a huge plus for people. Now, if an event wants to have VIP parking, like maybe a valet service to take them, we can work with that, but there's very specific parameters that have to be followed. But the whole idea is to never have a charge for parking.
Right. Yeah. Well, that always impresses me.
When you look at $25 to $30 to park in downtown Nashville, that's a lot.
Yes.
An awful lot. You start talking about an event that brings in 4,500, 5,000 people, that's a huge savings. And so people, once they figure that out, they're happy about it.
Well, we've come a long way, and of course, naming, getting the Farm Bureau name on there, I think is added to everything, and it's surely I would think they're getting their money's worth if name recognition is what they're seeking.
Well, that's my job, is to make sure that they do, and I feel like we have been able to distribute the name beyond the scope of maybe the natural areas that they would advertise themselves. I'm extremely happy that we have the Farm Bureau Expo has a page on the Tennessee State Tourism site. We also have been in the Tennessee Tourism magazine. We also got an award for being one of the best venues in the state from Convention South. And we've represented the county as well as the Expo, Farm Bureau Expo, at one convention and coming up on a second convention, getting the word out. But all the advertising in the world is awesome, but word of mouth is always the best. I love it when somebody comes to me and says, I was at a cousin's wedding here, or I came to a gun show and I had this vision for a trade show, or, so it makes me happy when somebody has been in the building and then they come back to try to create their reality of what they want to do.
All right, Gail Hibbert is with us. We've got a lot more to talk about, but now it's time for a break. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Bates Ford and the regular oil change, $28.95 up to 5-quarts oil, tax and disposal, and it's $28.95. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still quite a bit of traffic trying to get down from the north there through Madison on 65 coming southbound at Briley Parkway. Lebanon Pike at Wellington, they were trying to clear that wreck up involving some injuries. Still a lot of traffic, 24 coming in from Murfreesboro. Warmer weather, it's waiting for you right now at Pensacola Beach. Book your next getaway. You deserve a vacation. Log on to PensacolaBeach.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
This is Philip Etherly with Absolute Rental and Supply. Whether it's cleaning, painting, remodeling, or simply getting better organized, we have the tools and equipment to get the job done. Scaffolding, paint sprayers, ladders, power saws, portable heaters, temporary lighting, generators, hardwood floor staples, from wallpaper steamers to bulldozers, Absolute Rental has what you need. Call 615-443-RENT. Absolute Rental and Supply. We have what you need.
After facing the strongest non-conference schedule in the nation, the Cumberland University Phoenix baseball team opens Mid-South Conference play next weekend, February 25th and 26th, against the Thomas More University Saints in Crestview Hills, Kentucky. Friday's single game starts at 1 p.m. with Saturday's doubleheader beginning at 11. You can hear all the action on either WANT-FM 98.9, WCOR 1490 AM, WANTFM.com, or GoCumberlandAthletics.com. Go Phoenix!
It's tax time, and Cars Unlimited Tax Service is locally owned and has 33 years of experience in preparing taxes. They advance loans of up to $6,000. They're also an authorized IRS e-file provider. Call 615-449-2955 or stop by 1006 West Main Street in Lebanon. Cars Unlimited Tax Service stands ready to help you prepare your taxes. Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us, and we are happy to have Gail Hibbert with us this morning. Again, she is the Director of Marketing and Events at the Farm Bureau Expo Center, which is part of the James E. Ward Ag Center. And do people get that mixed up necessarily? I mean, you're booking this Expo Center pretty much, and not the whole thing, as I understand it. But you certainly have a working relationship with Quentin Smith, who's the director of the Ag Center.
Yep, absolutely.
You talk, correspond, or work together nearly every day?
Well, not so much every day. I mean, we have to coordinate for different events. I always have to be cognizant of, especially our load ends, because our load ends are generally on the back side of the building, which can clog and congest the areas that he's renting. And so that can impact his parking. So we need to be very cognizant of that. But yeah, we coordinate on, whether the gates are going to be open, or do we need some assistance with something, or, and vice versa. If he needs assistance with something, we're happy to help out with that too. We get calls for camping grounds all the time, and I just have to forward them on to the ag office, and then the ag office gets calls for us. Mm-hmm. And then there's always that coordination that comes in when somebody has an event that is so large that it spills out into the ag center, or vice versa, spills back into the expo, and then we kind of have to work together and make sure our dates are in sync and that type of stuff.
Well, I know there's some other things that you specifically want to talk about this morning, so I'll hand it to you here.
Well, thank you. Like I said, we are in the middle of dance and athletic season for sure, and just an idea of what's coming up over the next 3 months. We have intensity dance, groove dance, believe dance, imagination, and revolution, and those are all dance. Oh. I mean, all dance. And those bring in somewhere between 2,000 and 4,000 people every time. But they're great events to have, and we just really love supporting the youth and their efforts and their athleticism to participate in these things. Mm-hmm. Got a new thing the other day. Yeah, so we are going to have roller derby practice at the Expo, which I am thrilled about because it's something completely different. That's coming out of Nashville. They lost their venue. So they're coming out to the Expo to practice, and I'm working with them to be able to bring an actual roller derby competition to the Expo.
Do you have much preparation or change that you have to do to make it suitable for that?
For them, not so much. They're probably going to be one of the easiest, because really it's just about identifying the track inside the Expo, which is more the interior. The central part of the main exhibit hall, a lot of taping and cones and so forth. But other than that, no, not a lot to do. They may have some chairs or something, or bleachers maybe that they need.
You've got a concrete floor there?
Yes.
And they can skate on the...
Yes.
Oh, mm-hmm. So you don't have to put down any surface for them to... That's what I was wondering about when you mentioned that.
Yeah. So it works out really well for them. They thought it was a great find, So, and they're also going to be filming a video out there. So the Expo is going to be featured. So you talk about that promotion and getting the name out there. Yeah. That TV show is going to come out and videotape them also.
Well, if this goes over well, you might have some repeat, I take it.
I think so. We'll see. It's very new, and we're exploring it, and they're excited. So we're happy to try to help out. And one of my objectives has been to bring in new events, things that we've never done before. Of course, we always have the gun shows. We got another gun show coming up in July, and
they're pretty well attended, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's almost searching for a parking space and all of that.
That's very much the case out front. I mean, they get real creative where they park their cars for a gun show. And you have to be very cognizant when you've got a gun show in the main exhibit hall. If you have something in South Hall, we have to make sure that we protect some parking for South Hall because of that reason, because they do bring in such a crowd to be able to attend. And in its second year, Tennessee Outdoor Rendezvous is a show. It's going to be May 21st and 22nd. It's all things sporting, hunting.
Oh.
I'm a Bambi fan, sorry, but they have an amazing show, and this group of guys have really worked very hard to bring this show together. And last year they did a good job. And they very quickly recognized where they could do some things maybe a little different, or maybe they wanted to grow or expand. So their whole mission is to foster a passion and enthusiasm for hunting and fishing. And they're trying to teach that to the younger generations to keep that going. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's commendable.
Well, you're talking about, I think you mentioned earlier, you've got weekends pretty much booked from almost eternity. I'm being facetious.
Just January through May.
But the earlier part of the week, is that the bigger challenge for you?
It is and it isn't. There's a double-edged sword there. We have to have a couple days to be able to do the deep clean, the maintenance, and that type of stuff. So we have to work around that. So that's where Zendel and I work closely together. If he's got something he needs to do and I need to protect a time, I can do that. Typically, if you look at the cycle, definitely Thursday through Sunday or Thursday through Monday will be busy. Yeah. The Tuesday through Wednesday or Tuesday through Thursday, depending on the booking, is about the only time that we have to do the deep cleaning and stuff. But that doesn't mean I don't book stuff. It just means that's typically what we have.
But it does seem to be somewhat of a juggling act, though.
It is a huge juggling act. And again, back to that double-edged sword. So the more I book, the better I do, the harder the staff has to work. Mm-hmm. So that's why I like to always kind of reach out and commend them for what they do. They flex, they adjust their schedules. Every once in a while, I get that person that says, I need a space tomorrow, or I need a space in 2 days. And all of a sudden, the entire schedule has to be, manipulated to accommodate that.
Gail, you weren't here when this all was voted on by the county commission, and when the Expo, there was it was quite a controversial thing as to whether it should be built or not. And I'm sure you've heard about that, but you weren't here. And there are people who say it was going to be a boondoggle, or words to that effect.
I've heard that too.
But from all indication, it's making money.
Actually, we turned a profit in 2021 and made over $200,000 in profit. Mm-hmm. The Expo's never had that before. So I'm extremely proud of our staff because they made that happen.
Well, how does the future look? I mean, is if you were just going to make that much, is that satisfactory, or can you do a lot more than that?
Well, now we're talking to someone who's real competitive. So it's like, okay, that's the benchmark, because that was the first full year still dealing with COVID. I had another $100,000 worth of cancellations from COVID at the same time that we made the profit of $200,000 and some thousand. And so I'm like, well, if we can do that, then what can we do more? Mm-hmm. We've got some opportunity to continue to grow. I mean, obviously, I think at some point we'll cap out a little bit, but we're going to probably have to add a staff person to turn events at night because for every event that comes in, you have a setup, you have the event that you have to work, and then you have the breakdown, and then you have the cleaning to do the setup for the next event. So I have to have enough room to turn from one event to the next event and still clean in the middle. And right now, that's probably the biggest challenge, is turning those events. So the only answer to that at this point is to have somebody that does that overnight so that the room is available the next morning. And we've done what we need to do.
So if you can continue to add a few here to justify the extra expense, then
we've got room to grow.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I see great opportunity. I mean, I said that when I came in for my interview almost 2 years ago. It's like, I see great opportunity here. This could be something. And that's what we're navigating to.
All right, we got about a minute left here. Anything else we haven't covered that's on your notes there? Anything else you want to say as we close this morning?
Well, if you're a car enthusiast, we have Slammed Enough coming up in April, at the end of April, which is a great show. And if you have never been inside the Expo with those cars in there, that's a sight to see. We have a reptile show coming up also. And then, just congratulations to the boat show, the antique show, the RV show. They kicked off the year in huge style. So we're excited and our future is bright. And thank you for having us.
You love the reptile show?
I don't mind it. I mean, it's not my thing. I don't mind it, but it's fun and it meets the need of a whole population that is excited for them to be there.
Well, I guess you have something for just about everybody.
That is the goal. That is the goal.
And it sounds like things couldn't be much better, really.
Right now, we're rocking and rolling, and we're pretty happy.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being with us today, and I understand you're coming back. I think, I believe next month you've got somebody you're going to send out to be with us.
I do. I have Philip, who is working in our office. He's primarily focusing on marketing. He's my assistant. And I'm going to be on vacation, so he's going to come out and talk to you.
All right. Well, we'll find out all the secrets he'll tell about you then.
Oh, joy.
Gail Hibbert, the Director of Marketing and Events for the Farm Bureau Expo Center. And that is it for Wednesday. Join us tomorrow for Coleman and Company. Till then, I wish you a wonderful